Do you struggle to focus on your writing? Do you feel fatigued all the time? Well, I have a solution for you! The Rachel Alice Reid Self-Care Routine. Hey all, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something that is really important to all of us, and that is self-care. As writers, I feel like we are all a pretty sensitive bunch. We're pretty compassionate. The whole point of what we're doing is to see and write things from other people's point of views. For me, that makes me a sponge. I soak up everything that's going on around me, including other people's stress and other people's problems, and this can lead you to not necessarily be in a great place. I noticed a few months ago that my sponginess was at an all-time high, and I was struggling with quite a lot of things. I was struggling with some self-image issues, I was struggling with my mental health in general, I was struggling with handling stress, I was struggling with focusing on anything, including writing my book. And I was also struggling with managing some physical pain that I had. All of this kind of came to a head, and I realized that my self-care routine was pretty much non-existent. So for the past few months, I have been making that pretty much my #1 priority. And today, I'm going to share with you some of the things that have really benefited me over the last couple of months. If you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. I'm all about kind of chronicling the ups and downs of this writing journey. Some of them are downs, and that's what I'm here to help with today. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, hit that subscribe button. So as I said, I've done a bit of rejigging in my life, and today I've got 8 things to think about for self-care that have really helped me. I'm starting off with what is probably the biggest one for me, and that is exercise. I have decided with exercise that it comes down to 3 S's: sweat, strength, and stretch. I have personally been doing exercises that have improved my strength and that have made me sweat, and by golly, I feel so much better for it. One thing that has really helped me with exercise is enlisting an exercise buddy. My husband agreed to be my exercise buddy, and he has provided so much extra motivation. I'm doing more workouts because I'm committed to showing up with someone. I'm going harder and I'm lifting heavier, and I'm seeing the benefits of it. I know that having someone in your house who's willing to do this with you isn't always possible, but maybe you've got a flatmate who you could do some workouts with, or technology is amazing. If you've got a friend halfway across the world, maybe you could do this together. Exercise comes in a lot of different forms, and the best exercise is going to be the thing that you don't hate the most. I'm not going to say the thing you enjoy the most. It should be the thing you enjoy the most, but let's be honest, none of us really love doing exercise, right? For some of you, this might be going to the gym and doing a class, or getting a personal trainer and getting something laid out for you to do at the gym. For me, I am cheap and I refuse to pay for a gym membership. So I've come up with some different things to do that cost me very little. The first thing that I think you should check out is Fitness Blender. I have been following Fitness Blender for quite a few years now, and they have a whole range of different kinds of workouts that you can choose from. You can choose how hard you want them to be, how long you want them to be, what kind of exercise, and they're all on YouTube. So if you're picking individual workouts, they cost you nothing. They definitely cover my sweat and strength, and the one that really covers my stretch is another YouTube channel called Yoga with Adriene. I really like Yoga with Adriene mostly because I feel like for me, yoga can get into that really sort of spiritual, I am talking to you in such a calm voice kind of thing. And I can take or leave that kind of stuff. And the great thing about Adriene is that she doesn't force that upon you. She gives you a little bit of it and you can take it or leave it, but generally she's down to earth. She makes dirty jokes every now and then. She's really funny. She's just a real person. So that's what I enjoy about that channel. The third one that I've gotten into a little bit just recently is Pop Sugar. And that's because I've always liked to dance. And I found that they have a whole range of dance workouts, about 30 minutes long, that you can do, and my golly, it flies by. I'm really keen to check them out a little bit more, but if you're into dancing, maybe you could check out some of their dance workouts. Just a quick disclaimer that the things I've just mentioned and anything else that I will mention, they are not sponsors. These are just things that I have found for myself that work really well. I would love it if they'd pay me money, but they're not, so there you go. Number 2 for self-care is activity. Now, I have deliberately separated this from exercise because in my mind, exercise is a period of time where you are kind of doing a workout. To me, activity is the other stuff you do throughout the day. Exercise is 1 hour, activity is what you do in the other 23. This one is actually quite basic, and it pretty much means that you need to get off your butt. As writers, we spend a lot of time sitting at a desk or on a couch writing, and I have a desk job, so it's the same for me when I'm at work. But really concentrating on increasing that incidental activity during the day, and we've all heard this, is really, really helpful. I take the stairs more than I used to. My work is 2 floors up. It's not that many steps. But boy, do stairs get your heart rate up. I have no idea why. No matter how fit you get, stairs are always hard. Whether you work or not, it doesn't mean you can't get outside for a walk at lunchtime. I realize that in places where it's sort of 3 feet of snow, it might not be so possible, but go for a walk around the house. Find a step, do some step-ups. You can do all sorts of things during the day that will increase that incidental activity and make a big difference, give you that energy boost. The thing that's really helped me in this area, and it kind of relates to my writing in a way because I'm all about those daily word count goals, is this little fella. You may have seen it in a couple of my past videos in the last few weeks, and it's pretty much a fitness tracker. It's a Fitbit one. I had some issues with Fitbit, but we won't go into it. But I aim for 10,000 steps every day. I don't get it every single day, but that's the aim. Sometimes I'm way over. And having that goal has been something really useful. And it's quite cool because when you get to 10,000 steps, it like celebrates you. It's like, yay! And you're like, yes. Moral of the story, get off your bum. Number 3 is how you fuel your body. I am a junk food queen. My parents would tell you that I am the junk food queen. I love chocolate, I love chips, I love all of these things. But when I realized that I was downing a block of chocolate every single week just at work, and then probably having some more at home, I realized that it probably wasn't the best. Now, I am not someone who is into diets. I am not someone who is into restrictions. I am not into telling anyone or telling myself that you can't eat that. But there is definitely a balance between the good things you're putting into your body, the fruits and the vegetables and all those sorts of things, and the other things, the chocolate. For me, just much chocolate. I have definitely been concentrating on getting that balance a bit more in balance, and I've been feeling great for it. Number 4, get a hobby. Some of you might say that writing is your hobby, but for me, I need to have a hobby that's not writing. Writing can be amazing and it can be a rush and it can be fantastic, but it can also be really, really hard. When I say get a hobby, I say find something else other than writing that is pretty much just fun, something you enjoy. If it's something that's active, even better. Old hubby and I have just started going and rock climbing, which is really fun. It's active, it's making me stronger, but it's not I'm doing a workout. You're busy concentrating on what you're doing, so it doesn't feel like that. This can be anything for you, just something you find fun. If that's reading, that's great. If that's playing some music, that's awesome. You could go and sing around the house. If that's something that you love to do, go and do it. Number 5 is sleep. I love sleep. And I am also someone who desperately needs sleep. If I get 6 hours sleep a night, I will struggle. Really struggle, and I will usually struggle for about a week afterwards. I need at least sort of 7.5 to 8 hours sleep, preferably 9, but I usually only get that on the weekends if the cat doesn't scratch at the door at 5:30. But I've definitely found that the amount of sleep I get has a huge effect on my mood and my resilience and my ability to deal with stress. It also affects how I feel about doing those workouts or climbing those stairs. It has a huge effect on everything that I do, and I don't like feeling tired. I don't think I need to go into all of the scientific reasons why sleep is so good for you. I'm sure you've all heard it, but it's such an important thing. I get up at 5:30 a.m. to do all my workouts and to do some writing, so I need to be in bed early. And if that's you, you're going to need to work out a way to compensate for that. But don't cut it down to 4 hours. It's not going to be helpful to you. Number 6 is rest. Now, when I said this to old hubby's coming into this a lot today, but when I said this to old hubby this morning, he said, "Isn't that sleep?" And I said, no, it's not sleep. By rest, I mean doing things that aren't workouts or aren't things that use your mental or your physical energy. Perhaps rest for you is sitting down and watching a movie, sitting down and watching Netflix, taking some time out just to actually chill. Netflix and chill. Does that mean sex? I mean, if that's your relax, then you go for it. Now, you've probably heard of things within exercise routines called rest days. I do rest days, but I've taken them to mean I'm not doing a heavy workout. So I will personally still try and do the activity. I'll still try and go for a walk or do some stretching, that kind of thing. So I'm not sedentary. And to be honest, I don't suggest a rest day to be completely sedentary. You just end up on the couch watching Netflix with chips, which is counterproductive really. But it does mean that you can take a step back. Take a step back, look after yourself, watch some Netflix. Number 7. Did I do 6 before? Number 7 is social time. I know that as a writer, often social time is something that takes a back seat. Sometimes you need to say no to going out with the friends and doing those sorts of things in order to get your writing done, and that's fine. But when you're trying to do a bit of a self-care routine, there often comes a point where you just need some social interaction. We as humans are pack animals after all. Now, I'm not a hugely social person. I don't have 100 friends. I have a few really good ones. And I actually remember a point when I wasn't feeling so good where I was just like, you know, I need a bit of friend time. I just need to go out for dinner with my friends and have a laugh and just find out what they're up to. Get outside my own head a little bit and realize that there are other people in the world as well. And that was really helpful to me. So I definitely recommend making time for that if you need it. It's all about using those support systems, right? Number 8 is pamper yourself. Give yourself those rewards when you've achieved something. If you really feel like you just need some me time and you need to feel special or pretty or whatever it is you need to do, take that bubble bath. Go and get that facial. Go and get a massage or a manicure or whatever pampering yourself means to you. I'll probably be off to a chocolate shop, to be honest. Anything that'll make you feel good or make you feel special. Fun fact, I have just bought my very first facial mask. How I got to this age without it, I have no idea. But that's something that I've bought in the hopes that I will have some time to just lie back with a face mask on. I often see Instagram people with it on, so why not me? Pamper yourself. And my final self-care tip, and this kind of goes across everything I've already said, so number 9, is do it guilt-free, if that makes sense. I shall explain. There are days when you are not going to be emotionally, mentally, or physically able to follow your self-care routine to the T. You may not be up for the workout that you have planned, or you may not be able to get your 10,000 steps in a day because other things happen. And if you take a day off because you need to, there should be no guilt associated with that. And it's something we all struggle with, it's something I struggle with, but it's really worth it sometimes just to listen to yourself, realize where you are at, and say, you know what? That's not what I need today. I'm going to take what I need today, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. So those are some of the things that I've been doing over the last few months to try and look after myself. But what results have I seen from it? I've written a list. Here, it's down in front of me. So I have seen weight loss, I have seen strength gain, and that's actually the most incredible thing. Doing a plank in yoga, at one point I just came to it and I was like, this is actually relatively easy now. It's an amazing feeling when you can get to that point where something that was hard is now easy. Anyway, I digress. I have seen a decrease in my pain. This is a huge one for me. I think I've mentioned before I've had issues down my right shoulder, which is 100% postural, which means I was weak. Now that I'm getting stronger, the pain is decreasing. Yes, less pain, which in turn makes me happier. I have found that I am more resilient. I am a little bit less spongy. I can let things roll off a little better than I was. I don't take everything on, which is huge. I feel like I have more energy. For the first time in probably years, occasionally I have this little ball of energy and I feel like I want to go out and do things with it, which is unheard of for me, and I kind of don't quite know what to do with it yet, but it's great to have, right? And for all of you, the writers out there, this will be probably the biggest one in a lot of ways, is I have better focus. When I do sit down to write, when I've scheduled that writing time, I find I'm able to get into it easier, and I'm able to spend a little bit longer on it, and I'm able just to focus better. I can think about what comes next and it comes out a little bit better. So if anyone's worried about things like writer's block, maybe have a look at your self-care routine. Maybe that'll help. So that's all I've got for you today. The moral of the story is find some ways that you can better look after yourself, because like L'Oreal says, you're worth it. Also not sponsored by L'Oreal, unless they want to. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give her a thumbs up. And if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe on your way out. I am also on Instagram, Twitter, and reviewing on GOODREADS if you'd like to connect. But for now, go and look after yourself, please. It's so worth it. And also, don't forget to laugh at yourself. Have some fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.